And here we go, reading from the Tao. The Tao is always nameless. And even though a sapling might be small, no one can make it be his subject. If rulers could embody this principle, the myriad things would follow on their own. Heaven and earth would be in a perfect accord and rain sweet dew. People, unable to deal with it on its own terms, make adjustments. And so you have the beginning of division into names. Since there are already plenty of names, you should know where to stop. Knowing where to stop, you can avoid danger. The Tao's existence in the world is like valley streams running into the rivers and seas. All right, that's the reading from the Tao this morning. Starting with believing in myself. Today's reading on Wednesday, February 19th. A quote from H.G. Wells. Adapt or perish, now as ever, is nature's inexorable imperative. I'll repeat that. Adapt or perish, now as ever, is nature's inexorable imperative. Some of us have pretty firm, even rigid ideas about the way things ought to be. We want people and places to stay the same as they always were. Sometimes our unhappiness with change is simply nostalgia. Part of our youth disappears when the corner drugstore gives way to a parking lot. But sometimes our resistance to change is more serious, as if the battles we've already fought took such a toll that all we can think of is digging in right where we are. Yet all growth requires change, and all change is a lighten up or tighten up, let go of something old, and reach out for something new. Perhaps we need to reconsider a negative attitude or be willing to do something we've never done before. The circumstances and characteristics that bolstered our youthful self-esteem are sure to change as the years go by. As reality changes, so must our perspective change, as if we were to stay fully alive for our days, all our days. Adaptation is not only necessary, it is natural. The survival of my self-esteem requires adaptation. There we go. A good reminder. Next, from the language of letting go, February 19th, our path. I just spent several hours with someone from my group, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. The woman insisted that the only way I would make progress in my program was to go to her church and succumb to her religious rules. She pushed and insisted, and I insisted and pushed. She's been in the program so much longer than I have. I kept thinking that she must know what she's talking about. But I didn't feel right, and now I feel crazy, afraid, guilty, and ashamed. That's a quote from Anonymous. The spiritual path and growth promised to us by the 12 steps does not depend on any religious belief. They're not contingent upon any denomination or sect. They are not, as the tradition of 12-step programs state, affiliated with any religious denomination or organization. We do not have to allow anyone to badger us about religion in recovery. We do not have to allow people to make us feel ashamed, afraid, or less than because we do not subscribe to their beliefs about religion. We do not have to let them do it to us in the name of God, love, or recovery. The spiritual experience we will find as a result of recovery and the 12 steps will be our own spiritual experience. It will be a relationship with God, a higher power as we understand God. Each of us must find our own spiritual path. Each of us must build our own relationship with God as we understand God. Each of us needs a power greater than ourselves. These concepts are critical to recovery. So is the freedom to choose how to do that. Higher power, help me know that I don't have to allow anyone to shame or badger me into religious beliefs. If they confuse that with the spirituality available in recovery, help me give their issue back to them. Help me discover and develop my own spirituality, a path that works for me. Guide me with divine wisdom as I grow spiritually. That's a good reminder. We're all on our own path and our own timeline. So let's all love and respect each other's path on our journey. Okay, last but not least, reading from Practicing the Course, call for healing. Our opportunities to forgive are everywhere. If we are relying on the ego to interpret the situations that involve us, we'll be consistently misguided into believing we have been attacked. That's the ego's hope, at least, because then we'll be willing to let it determine our response. Yet there is another way to perceive the attacks. The Course says they are always appeals for healing and help. But what does that really mean? It means the attacker was filled with fear, not arrogance, as we may have supposed. We have the opportunity to envelop that fear with forgiveness. Depending on the severity of the attack, it may not be easy to turn the other cheek. We may initially refuse, in fact. The resulting chaos doesn't bring peace, though, and we do want peace even when we don't understand how to get it. That's where the presence of the Holy Spirit comes in. It's our avenue to peace in any situation. Every time we forgive another's actions, peace will wash over us. I will not look hatefully at my attackers today. I'll see them as needing my help. All right, that's a good reminder and a good way to approach your comings and goings throughout the day. So thank you very much for joining, and hope you all have a great day, and talk to you